We are live at Faidley's. It is Crab Cake Row. We're doing a cup of soup or bowl. I'm doing that so Uncle Roger doesn't come after me from the National Football League. It is Super Bowl week. Femi Ayanbadejo has played in Super Bowls. He almost played in 2 Super Bowls and has visited several, has been on the show for many, many times. But we talk yoga, we talk football, that stuff. But this is charity and community. A group called TurnAround was made known to me, I want to say it was in Christmas time, 8 weeks ago. Dr. Steve Elliott from the Elliott Chiropractic Life Center has been my friend for a quarter of a century. He's been my chiropractor. And he was gathering, like, underwear and clothes and stuff in, like, the corner in, like, a box. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what is this for? He's like, I'm doing this for this group called TurnAround. I said, what do they do? He's like, you know, I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure. I know they do good things. And I said, all right, I'm doing this crab cake row thing. And the next thing I know, I'm emailing with Jonathan. He's asking me all these really important questions, like all the things we're going to talk about. I'm like, it's not that kind of show. We just kind of get together. And next thing I know, Femi's on his way over here. And I didn't talk to you. You didn't talk to me. Nope. I'm on a thread. I'm like, I'm surprised Femi still likes me enough to come out. So
Barely.
Well, it's because we haven't done yoga together. I want to meet Amanda Rodriguez, also Jonathan Brown here from TurnAround. I need to learn about TurnAround. So welcome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Oh, I just want to get your headset right. There you go.
There we go.
I'm going to make sure I can hear you. Jonathan,
Yes.
What is TurnAround? Let's start with that.
So TurnAround Incorporated it has 2 offices, one in downtown Baltimore and one in Towson. We offer programs and therapy and a variety of different services for victims of sexual assault, human trafficking, and domestic violence. Myself,
serious stuff.
Yes.
This is heavy lifting here.
And me personally, one of the reasons I kind of came over, initially I came from a development area in education, working in a college university. And one of the things I'm kind of passionate about is fundraising and also make sure people have what they need to succeed. Especially, even from a personal standpoint, I do have several friends who were survivors of several things that we do cover. And always want to do a little bit more for our community and society. So I'm proud. I've been with TurnAround a little over 2 years. It seems like a lot longer. But actually talking to the staff and actually seeing the work that they do really goes a long way, because I think sometimes we get so used to seeing things on TV and it doesn't connect because that hasn't come to our front door. But once you actually talk to our staff, hear the stories that they've had over the years, very interesting stories, and also the stories that really connect to your heart, it makes you want to do the work and makes you feel like you're doing something greater than yourself.
Wow, well said, brother. Holy moly.
Well, man, how long has it been around, TurnAround? I mean, I feel ignorant that I only heard of it recently, but I heard of it organically. Somebody I know was doing something to help you and told me about it and said, hey, you want to help them? Drop some stuff off or create awareness through my platform, which is my gift. My wife got sick. I think I told you. My wife got sick, and I decided, like, watching these doctors and nurses keep my wife alive, that was more important than, like, football, no offense.
No worries.
Or bitching with the baseball owner or anything that would happen on a field of play. I mean, seeing real-life things, but you're dealing with heavy, heavy trauma here.
Yeah, we've been around for 45 years.
Wow.
This is our 45th year. And so I think that the statement around you're learning about it organically is awesome. And we need to build awareness in our community because we're the only rape crisis center for Baltimore County and City. So we need to make sure that people that need us have access to us right away, which means we have to spread the awareness in the streets, make sure that people know that we're here, which is the unfortunate reality. Like, this is the kind of work that kind of happens behind closed doors. So it's hard to get it out into the public to say, hey, we're here for you.
We say rape crisis. Someone's unfortunately has an incident in Baltimore County, in Parkville, Dundalk, Woodlawn, wherever it is, right?
Wherever it is.
Have a victim, hospital, all that. You're the next step for a victim?
We could be the first step.
First step, okay.
Or the next step. It's really, there's no wrong door. So if somebody is sexually assaulted, is a victim of domestic violence, is a victim of trafficking, and they need support in that moment to figure out what to do next, they can call us. We have a 24/7 hotline. Some of that recommendation may be to go to the hospital. Some of it may be what's right for you right now. And so at any point in their journey, they can then continue to reach out to us so we can make sure that they have everything that they need. We serve a lot of folks that are under the poverty line. As an example, 70% of our folks are under the poverty line when they come to us. So how can we make sure that they're building sustainable lifestyles so that they can go out and build community for themselves? And part of the support there is just making sure that they can get employment, they can get education, they can get housing that they need. So it's really an all of the above approach to make sure that we're comprehensively serving a survivor.
Fem, how'd you get involved in this?
Yeah, so Amanda had known who I was, I just think from just all the kind of things I have my fingers in. And I guess she heard me say something or speak about some things, and she's like, "Yeah, I want Femi to come." They were doing an event at Raven Stadium.
Okay.
It was like their holiday / Survivor. There was a
7 weeks of giving.
7 weeks of
7 weeks of giving, right?
Yep.
And then there was some survivors there that had written some poetry, and I was there just to sign autographs and kind of hang out. And I kind of approached Amanda on the side. I said, "Hey, look, this touches me because like I've been, my family." I grew up in an environment with domestic violence. I've seen my mom get beaten. I've seen some of the men my mom's dated have beaten me and my brother and my sister, right? So it was personal on a lot of levels. And so when I saw the work they were doing and I saw the impact and the message of the survivors that had kind of come through the process, the clinical side of it, right? They had gotten the counseling and the therapy and they had dealt with the trauma. I said, wow, I need to work with them in some capacity. So I basically approached Amanda about some level of kind of contract consulting work. I obviously have a background in business development, strategic planning, and data and all these different things. And so we put together kind of a multi-pronged strategy that I'd come on board. It's been about a year now, almost a year to the day, right? Because when we met at that Starbucks, you guys were having, So,
I remember.
we put together a plan, and I wanted to use like my little C celebrity that I have in this community to just get people to wake up and hear like, hey, look, there's all these nonprofits that you associate with and you donate to, and I love it. Please keep
I'm
donating.
doing them all week, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
but the problem is, though, is that the most difficult work is around domestic violence, right? Rape and trafficking. And a lot of people don't want to talk about the kids, the collateral damage, right? The children, these women and young boys that get trafficked, that they have a prostitution on their records now. Those things need to get expunged. Amanda was a former prosecutor. So there's a lot of different things from a legislative level to a on-the-ground micro level, just helping people survive and give them what they need, whether it's food, a ride, counsel, therapy. They do all of it. And I think the difficult thing is that a lot of people don't want to talk about the effects of the things that they address. Intimate partner violence, domestic violence, rape, trafficking, all these different things are complicated, and they're not easy to talk about.
No,
So I think a lot
now
of
you're talking about it. It's
but we
when's
have
the last
to.
time I've talked about this?
Yeah. But I think a lot of people would rather go, I'm going to donate to the Boys and Girls Club. I'm going to donate to this. I'm going to donate to, and first of all, Boys Club is great.
Wonderful.
Living Classrooms is amazing. We are actually talking to
James
Living
was
Classrooms.
here 2 hours ago.
James and I are very close. So we're talking to them. But I think that there's a lot of these organizations that you donate to that can make you feel good right away because it's workforce development, it's education, it's these things that are really important. But TurnAround does all of it and the recovery part of it too, which I think is the most difficult part.
You mentioned Towson in Baltimore. I guess I'm familiar with the Towson side because my chiropractor, Dr. Steve's in Towson, and he was doing it he said they were here in Towson. Tell me more about where you are and in helping people in our community, because you have more than one location, but
We do. We serve the entirety of Baltimore County, the entirety of Baltimore City. So sometimes it's like my office location is here, but we send staff out all over the county. We send staff out all over the city to make sure that we are showing up where survivors need us. In Towson, it is a non-disclosed location, although our address is sometimes out into the public because it's an office location, but we do serve people there. So we're in Towson. We're near Target.
But you don't
essentially over
house
there.
anyone.
Not on site, no.
Okay.
So...
But they do help house people that need to get out of the environment that they're in. Absolutely.
Emergency
And talk
services.
a little bit about the safe house.
Sure.
There's one of 6 safe houses in the country.
Correct.
Right. So talk about. I think that's the biggest thing, and it's the most amazing project. Sorry, I just get excited when you
I
start
know.
talking
Every
about
time
safe house.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Femi.
Yeah.
So
I can use the bathroom if Fem can just go here. I haven't used the bathroom all
Get
day.
out of here. So Amanda.
I love it. So TurnAround, in partnership with the YWCA of Anne Arundel County and Annapolis, is opening the first home that's dedicated for child trafficking victims in the state. There are only 6 in the country right now that we know of that are open and operational, and there are none in Maryland at all. And so it has been a labor of love as someone that's done this work for 15 years to finally be opening something that I know is so desperately needed in our community. But it's also a first, so there are a ton of hurdles that you have to get over to get to the place this wonderful location is open. But we are hoping that it's going to open in spring of 2024.
If anybody with influence, anybody that really cares about young people getting another opportunity, we are taking donations. We're allowing people to sponsor. There's sponsorship opportunities. Like the Safe House to me is a real tangible, direct thing you can have an immediate impact on. A lot of times when you donate to an organization, you're like, well, I don't really know where my money's going. You can always ask. It's not hard to figure that out. But people want to know, I'm donating to a specific thing. If that gets you excited, this is the thing that you should be donating to immediately right now.
Where can people learn more? I mean, online, just and if they want to be involved, what's the gateway to be? I mean, Femi got involved over coffee apparently a year ago. How can
Sometimes
people get
politics.
involved and help you, John?
So our website is www.turnaroundinc.org. O-R-G. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have offices in downtown Baltimore and in Towson. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, at both the Turnaround INC websites for both Facebook and Instagram. As far as donations, there are two sides to that. One are financial, and one is for our pantry. Our pantry usually deals with non-perishable food items, but also for anything maybe women's products, things of that nature as well.
This is what Steve was asking for.
Yeah.
Products
Clothing.
for
Yes,
women
clothing drives.
and children.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
was children.
There's a massive pantry and a massive closet with
Yes.
clothes. I mean, people leave. Think about this. People up and leave with nothing. They have nothing. They just have to leave wherever they are to get out of
Whatever they're
danger.
wearing.
Whatever they're wearing is all they have. They have no food. They have no clothes. They don't have suitcase. They have nothing. They come into Turnaround. They get to walk into this huge closet. They can pick things literally off the shelf, off the hanger, and be like, "This is mine. It's yours." That's the work that they do. That's what's crazy to me.
Oh, and from the financial side, we do have our regular checks and donations that can go online. If you go to turnaroundinc.org, there is a donate tab you can click on. We also take PayPal. It goes straight into the information. You also get a donation letter for those who want certain tax benefits off those donations. Word of mouth, anything you can possibly think of from a donation perspective, we're always open for it. I believe we have just started doing stock as well. So literally anything you can possibly think of to help. Because one of the things that I like to think of, we meet people where they're at. With some of the services that we provide and the therapy that we provide as well. All the wraparound services, meeting people where they're at and what they need at that moment. That can really mean like the make or break for someone who's going through a tough time.
And turnaroundinc.org, not Turnaround Tuesday. Two different organizations.
Okay.
A lot of times I tell people to go to Turnaround. They go to Turnaround Tuesday. I'm like, I'm glad that you're looking, but you're in the wrong place.
Yes.
Amanda, as the prosecutor here, and I'm getting to know you a little bit.
Oh boy. Sorry. I told on her.
Great, Femi.
I told
Thank
on her.
you.
Sorry.
If I hear a neighbor getting beaten and I don't call the police, if I know of a situation, if I know something really awful's happening and I have awareness, people call the police first or they call you? I'm trying to understand. It's impossible for me to put myself in that.
Sure.
My mother was beaten. So, my mother had bad men in her life all her life. She made bad decisions. I was a good one, but she made a lot of bad decisions. And so I'm from Dundalk, man. I mean, come on. I mean, I've seen it all. You know what I mean? But there are points in your life where you don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean? Do
Yeah.
I call the cops on my friend who's beating his wife? Do I pull the wife up and say, let me get you out of this? Do I talk to the guy and say, cut the nonsense? Do I call the cop? What do I do? I don't know that step.
Sure.
I always think law enforcement, but that's not the way people always think, and that's
Right.
and you always think retribution. Lord knows I've had retribution in my own professional life in certain ways. We'll talk about off the air, but people, that part of getting even when you're already getting beaten, you don't feel like you can make a call, and you don't feel like you want the cops coming to the house because if they leave and leave you behind, you're going to get beaten more, right?
Absolutely.
Wherever that escape point is to say, you need to leave, we need to help you, family members, that sort of thing. What's the real situation? What really happens?
Yeah.
Is it the police, or do women or people come directly to you?
So they do both. With the police, if you hear something happening next door, if there's imminent danger, you can absolutely call the police. That is absolutely the right step. If somebody is actively being beaten, that is the right step to take. But you're right. If the police leave, it may make it worse,
Well,
right?
he's coming next door with a gun for me.
Sure.
Right, we have all of that, right?
Sure,
I mean,
and we've seen that happen in our community, unfortunately. But the other thing that you can do if somebody comes to you and says, I'm a victim of abuse, is that you start with, straight out, I believe you. I believe you, no question, no like, did you do this, did you do that? The reality is this is a cycle of abuse, and victims know when it is safest to leave. Even if they haven't processed all the way through that, they know. And so you need to help them get to the next right step, which is usually just calling the victim service provider. Most of the survivors that get to us say that the reason that they stayed so long is because they did not realize the resources that were out there. And so we have to make sure that they know that Turnaround is here 24/7, even if it's just to ask questions. No one's going to make them leave their abusive partner or their significant other. No one is going to make them take steps that they are not ready for. It's really just let us give you information so you can keep yourself safe. Because what we do first, before we do anything else, is safety planning. when is the right next time to get out. Like there was a survivor who came to us during the pandemic through Facebook Messenger. Like that was the way that they were getting to us because everybody was in the house with their abuser. It was an extremely violent situation. We were sure that we were going to have a lethality situation on our hands at some point in the near future. And we were able to work out, just from her connecting with us on Facebook Messenger, a full safety plan with her via Facebook Messenger. We were able to get her to the next right place. We were able to engage our security, our crisis-based services, so she was picked up at the exact right time.
I'm glad I asked this question because
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger's not the way I'm thinking.
course.
But yeah.
But if there's any way for them to get the support, get them the support. And so it is about, 24/7 hotline. We have a text line, 24/7 text line. People can text. They can email us. We get emails all the time. with
How
people
many calls do you get a year?
We're getting about 10,000 calls for service a year at this point.
Wow.
So
10,000
post-pandemic.
calls a year.
We got to fix society, man. That's too many calls.
Oh, yeah.
That really is. I mean,
Totally agree.
I mean, especially in this case, all of this is avoidable, right? I mean,
It
all
is.
of this is.
Power-based violence is completely avoidable.
Yes.
But it's on the hands of the person that's inflicting the abuse.
All right, I told my wife my catch line of the week was going to be, I need to invite you back for some more time. So I'll do that, but I haven't said that all day because most people I'm already friends with who've been a part of the show at various points, and you're always welcome. You're welcome back for Bikram Yoga. You're welcome back for Crab Cakes and football talk. I don't even talk baseball with you now. I know you're a Giants fan.
Oh,
so.
come on, baby. Come on now.
I didn't know you were a Giants fan.
Yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area. You know?
All right.
Well, they don't have
who's
the
your,
Asian
who's your
anymore, so-
team?
The Orioles.
Well, they were
But
orange and black too.
but the thing is, like, they're in
You
the
could be
National
both.
League and they're
Right.
in
You
the
could have been
American League
both.
and they
Oh.
don't play each other.
Okay.
Well, they do.
Dual league.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
I know.
yeah,
All right,
it's
we're
all
gonna go down a
yeah,
path
okay.
here,
All
though.
right, they do okay. That's true. They do. They can play each other, but
Yes.
they could also meet in the World Series, which would be amazing.
Sure.
Amanda Rodriguez is here. Jonathan, what are your titles, just so I know exactly what you guys do?
Yeah, I'm the executive director.
I'm the development coordinator.
I'm just an external consultant,
And he's
Yeah.
just a washed-up running back who's doing
Yeah.
Bikram Yoga 4 times a year.
Ooh, ouch. Ouch.
I was a washed-up radio host 32 years. I'm
Yeah.
washed up.
I can say that about me, but you can't say that about me.
Still could play. Still
There you
fit as a
go.
fiddle.
There we go.
There you go.
Sean, call
Yeah.
him. He's available.
Yeah, I give you a quarter.
Bring him in. You would have run the ball more last week. Is that,
Oh.
well, you could have. You know.
Ooh,
I mean,
yikes.
come on, a little spicy. It has been tough.
We all.
I mean, this is a
well,
tough loss.
No, it is. We love our team. We love our guys. We love our guys. Right? We love our guys.
Lamar.
We love Lamar. Hey, Lamar is. I'll just say this. When I get phone calls from people in California, all they ask me about is Lamar. Lamar has like a Jordan quality about him.
Oh, no
You know what
doubt.
I mean? Like, it's crazy.
You know when I knew that? In 19, I went out to L.A. It's back when I was still a media member.
Mm-hmm.
Fem. In 19, I went out to the L.A. Coliseum. And they were going to play that big Monday night game against the Rams.
Yeah.
I had never been to the L.A. Coliseum, so it was like a big, momentous thing for me to go out there. And as I parked the car, USC, not a great neighborhood, a lot of challenges there. I'm walking through. They were selling Lamar stuff all over the streets.
In LA, yeah.
Like, it's 3,000. He's a year into his career, and there was more Lamar. It's before the Rams won the Super Bowl.
The kids
And we beat their ass that night.
We did.
Bad.
Chargers, them,
Oh, it was
everybody,
crazy.
yeah. But the kids love Lamar. They love them some Lamar because Lamar
Well,
he
it's
can
exciting.
identify with them. You know what I mean? Like Lamar's just when you think of the cultural influence he has, the style of play. The different things that he can do. There's no one like him.
There's no one that plays
like
like him.
And think about his attitude. Like, Locked In Lamar is serious. And I love that. I love Locked In Lamar. I love the
I don't
seriousness
like
of it.
pounding the ground Lamar, throwing the helmet Lamar.
I don't care about that.
I
As
don't
long
like
as
that.
long as it's not directed at anybody, I don't care. That's part of football. Guys do it every game, and you can't single out Lamar because guys do it on every field, all over the place. I don't care about that. If you're doing it at somebody or towards somebody, then that's a problem. But I don't mind the
I
animation.
like control of emotion.
Nah, I don't mind that.
I like that.
I like because I think control is subjective, and I think that to me, that as long as it's not directed at or toward a coach or another player, I think it's fine. Would you take it or leave it? Yeah, I'd rather not see it.
I would not have to
but I don't
explain it to my
mind.
10-year-old kid about
Yeah.
that you shouldn't do that. That's
Yeah.
not acceptable
No,
behavior.
yeah. When you put it
for me,
when you
that's
put
how
it
I feel
when you
about
put it that way, I think
I think
yeah.
it's
I'm
unnecessary.
looking at
That's
it
all.
from the view of the athlete on the field at the
Oh,
moment
I know
in
he's
time.
mad.
You know what I'm saying?
You're always mad when you fail.
Yeah, anyway,
right?
people don't want to hear us talk about Lamar throwing his helmet.
They love football in this town. They love you in this town. Super
Wow,
Bowl
we took a
35
right turn.
champion Femi Ayanbadejo. We have Amanda Rodriguez, Jonathan Brown here from TurnAround Inc.
Yes.
Not Tuesday.
Not Tuesday.
All right,
Yeah.
just get that in there. I am Nestor. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. By the way, one for you.
Thank you.
One for
I
you.
love gifts.
One for you.
Thank
There you
you.
go. I feel like Oprah when I do that. You get a lottery ticket. You get a lottery ticket.
Do you know Oprah?
No,
She has a great foundation, by the way. We need to connect.
Yes.
Do you have one? Okay. Sorry. Anyway. Oprah's foundation is
I've met
amazing.
Stedman,
Yeah.
but I,
have you?
Oh, that works.
Okay.
well, he
Well,
eats
yeah.
crabs over
Close.
Costas.
Oh, well, next time you see him, tell him about
Put
TurnAround
in a
8.
good word.
I'll be at Costas tomorrow. We'll try to get him to stop
Please
by.
do.
I have a whole day of guests tomorrow. I'm finishing up my live radio. We got our last hour. We got our last guest. We're looking forward to having some folks on before 5 o'clock. But 9 a.m. tomorrow is going to come way, way early for me. I'll be at Costas all day tomorrow. Coco's on Wednesday. Thursday is State Fair. And people are going to love Friday's show because I'm going to lose my voice. And they're not going to have to listen to me anymore. So it's going to be great. I'll be there 9 to 5 on Pappas on Friday. So brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, your friends at Window Nation, as well as Jiffy Lube Multicare. I don't have any Jiffy Lube swag to give out. You guys, class is dismissed.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the yoga mat.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking.